Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have something very interesting to take a look at today, something that's definitely different from your average Jurassic World toy or figure. We've got ourselves the RealFX Baby Blue. Now, if you've ever been to any kind of what are them, traveling dinosaur shows where you go and they have all sorts of animatronics, and once in a while you'll find one of the employees walking around and they kind of have a baby dinosaur, or so it seems, sitting in their arm, and it looks all lively and all that fun stuff. This is basically that, but in a version that you can own for yourself. And obviously you can see it's a Jurassic World version, a Velociraptor Baby Blue, which I think being a Dominion type release, it should have been more of a Velociraptor Beta, but either way, it's still pretty cool to have something like this, because even though it doesn't look quite as good as the ones that you usually see at those shows, it's still pretty awesome to actually have a chance to own something that's fairly similar, and I am pretty excited to dive into this and take a closer look at it. You can see the box art basically shows the head of our type of puppet right here, and it's kind of ripping out of the box, or at least that's the way it's meant to appear. And then over here we've got an image of a kid holding the Velociraptor here to kind of give you an idea of how it works. And we also right here say bite, lunge, battle, and protect actions, 40 plus actions and sound effects. So definitely a lot going on with this. You can also see ultra realistic animatronic dinosaurs. So again, very intrigued to check this out. Over here on the side you can see realistic size. And then if we go to the opposing side, actually, you can see it's basically just some scratch marks and stuff, as well as up here there's an eyeball kind of leering out. But if we take a look here at the back, you can yet again see the Velociraptor Blue, baby Velociraptor Blue figure. You've got actually an image of Blue down here, but you can also see some more information over here to the side of the figure. And then over here, again, ultra realistic. Looks real, sounds real, feels real. Treat baby Blue with care, and she will become your lifelong pet and protector. If only that were true. I would love to have a Velociraptor, a Jurassic Park style Velociraptor that would just follow me around and protect me. Unfortunately, that is not the case. And also something that's really cool to take note of is the fact that this is from Wow Stuff, who we have reviewed quite a few things here on the channel of, as far as the Wow Pods. So I'm extremely excited to check this out, so let's pop this out of the box and do just that right now. So as soon as you open it up, you've got some instructions for your RealFX Baby Blue. You can see basically what it looks like on the inside of the figure, which is really interesting to actually kind of get an idea as far as what all is going on with it. There definitely seems to be quite a bit that, oh wow, look at that. So there you can really see what the entire inside of this puppet looks like. It's pretty crazy how much goes into it, but there's definitely some fun instructions and stuff that would probably help to give you an idea as far as how to work your Velociraptor Blue. And then we've got our baby Velociraptor Blue herself, and it really does look quite awesome, actually. I was a little concerned with how good it was going to look, because I did notice that this was kind of like a material, not like a rubber or anything that was more realistic for a dinosaur, that it was more of a cloth type material, like a stuffed animal sort of thing. But it actually looks really good here in person. It definitely looks nicer than I was expecting it to. The hands and feet are definitely like a hard plastic. Same deal with the head up here of our Velociraptor, which it's got some extra glue or something there, but definitely looks really cool as far as pretty much everything goes. And what's good about the cloth type material for this is it really allows you to have a lot of detail on it. As far as the actual appearance to it goes, the coloration is pretty much spot on to what you would see on a baby Velociraptor Blue. I think the blue stripe here might be a slightly different shade because it's more of a blue-green, but it does still look phenomenal as far as the way it looks overall. So actually what we're going to do is jump to a closer look real quick, and then we'll go ahead and check out all of the fun aspects of the playability features of the figure. So you can see as we start up here at the head of Velociraptor Blue, it does look really cool, but one thing you might take notice to is the fact that the actual skin detail is probably a little more muted than I would like it to be, but it does still have some pretty nice looking skin detail, and as we kind of move it and allow the light to hit it, you can definitely see how the detail looks, but some things just aren't, as obvious or as detailed as they probably should be, like the palette and stuff. You could see it's there, it's just not as, highly detailed as you would see on some other type of models, but at the same time, it looks super lifelike. I will say that. You can see the nostrils right there, and the eyes are absolutely fantastic. Look at how realistic the eyes look, and they also, of course, have kind of like a glossy look to them, so you can see them shining in the light. Here in hand, it definitely has a very lifelike appearance to it as far as the eye goes. The mouth as well has some nice pinkish tones on the inside. You can see all of the teeth are sculpted beautifully, and they are also painted beautifully. Very nice looking gloss coat on the inside of the mouth as well. The tongue is definitely smooth, and yet again, there's not like insane amounts of detail on the inside of the mouth, but it looks good for what it is, and I think serves the purpose for what it is quite nicely. It doesn't really need to be incredibly highly detailed. Of course, it would be better if it was, but it does still look really, really nice. And you can see we have a nice lighter gray, but we also have like a darker gray dry brushing over the majority of the face here of Velociraptor Blue. But then, of course, as we lead down into the body, it transitions from that kind of hard plastic to that soft kind of material, that cloth-like material, and everything looks great as far as the coloration and detailing, honestly, as you run down through Velociraptor Blue, and you can see that we've got the coloration like exactly as it should with the grays and the kind of whites and stuff and light grays running all over the place. It looks really cool. The hand does return again back to a plastic. As you can see, the hand looks really nice, honestly, as far as the detailing goes, and also has that, again, dark gray dry brushing, but there's also some variations of browns and stuff. So we have some alternate color variation, and we have light gray, kind of almost like an off-white for the nails, and all of them are painted very, very nicely. You can see even the palms of the hands look really good. And as we continue to move along, you can see again that the coloration quite perfectly matches Velociraptor Blue. We again have that really cool striping effect as we lead down through the leg and then down into the foot sculpt. And again, that foot sculpt returns back to that plastic, and you can see that the feet look really good, the toes look really good. The nails are also again painted with that same type of kind of like an off-white or light gray. And the toe here is actually relaxed. You can see that the sickle claw isn't sticking up or anything, and we wouldn't probably expect it to be. I guess with a baby, he's nice and docile. And you can also see that the dew claws are present, and they are actually painted, so that is a huge, huge plus. And then you lead out the length, again, of our really small Velociraptor Blue tail. And if we actually turn it around, you can see that they did get the coloration of blue correctly, because on this side, the blue does run up and over the eye and then also under the eye, which is a huge, huge plus for this. And then, of course, underneath you have the arm where you would slide your arm in to, of course, activate the Velociraptor. And to pretend that you are just holding a living raptor, you can see that we've got the fingers of the glove and everything, which is really cool. And, of course, the foot sculpt over here also looks great. So I'm really excited to actually get my arm up in this raptor and check out all of the features of it. So let's do that right now. And one thing that is good for anybody that's wondering, you actually have a strap in here. It's a little hard to get a good angle of this, but you have a strap on the inside of where you put your arm to readjust it depending on the size of the arm that's going to be sliding in there. So if you're a smaller child and you want to fool people into thinking you've got a baby dinosaur in your hand, you could tighten this so that it would fit nicer around your arm. Or, of course, if you're an adult like me, you're definitely going to want to loosen it so that you can get your arm in there. But let's go ahead and slide this on. So I got my hand up in here, as you can see it wiggling there in the chest of Velociraptor Blue. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, it was a little bit of a task to get in there, just because it is a pretty tight squeeze, even with the straps and the ability to kind of fit it perfectly to my arm. The plastic... And Velociraptor Blue's apparently got something to say. But the plastic that's actually contained within is definitely tight on an adult arm. So that is something to keep in mind when purchasing it. I do have my arm in it. Apparently Blue's just sleeping, I guess. But apparently Blue snores a lot too. But my arm is definitely a little tight on the inside there. And I don't have it actually fully wrapped up here on the underside. You can see it's kind of opened up. I think I can get it closed, but it is definitely a little bit tight. But regardless, let's go ahead and start to activate some of the features of Blue. So straight away, we can blink the eyes, which is pretty darn cool. You can see they blink really nicely. And you can actually control how they blink. So if you want to make it look like Blue's falling asleep, you can do that. Oh, and then Blue's asleep. You can also activate some other parts of the figure. So you can do this. As you can see, you can activate the mouth, as well as the tilt in the head. So there's definitely some fun aspects to it as far as the way you can activate it and react to people, depending on what they're doing. It seems as though you can only tilt it to the left, though. We can't tilt it to the right, as there's 3 different controls that I can feel on the inside. We've got the button for the eye, which is this one, the button for the mouth, and then the head tilt, which obviously activates quite a few different sound effects. You can see we've got other sound effects as well. And it appears as though we've got 3 different sensors to kind of activate different sound effects. So we've got one here, right in front of the snout. There's also one above the head. Almost couldn't get that one to go. And then we've got one on the back. So depending on where you touch Velociraptor Blue, I guess, would depend on the noise that she gives you. And then again, you of course have the ability to do all of the other fun stuff. So it's definitely a bit of a learning experience. Like, you've got to figure it all out as you mess around with it. And I think I'm figuring it out as I go here. But hopefully this gave you a pretty good idea as far as the different options that you have for the Velociraptor and the way you can move it around and stuff. As far as a size for Velociraptor Blue, Blue is pretty big. Definitely, I would say, life size as far as a baby raptor goes. For a length on Blue from the snout to the tail, you were looking at about 21 3/4 inches, or around 55 centimeters, somewhere in there. That's not a perfect measurement because Blue is kind of all over the place as far as the tail and the head and everything. As far as the height goes, we'll just lean Blue against the back there, and then from the ground to the top of the head right there, you're looking at about 10 inches or around 25.5, closing in at 26 centimeters. And I think my tape measure here is starting to wear out, so I might have to get a new one soon, but definitely really quite sizable. And to show you that for a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our RealFX baby Blue, and you can definitely see that Blue is massive compared to the human figures here. So you are getting quite a bit of bang for your buck when you pick this one up. I believe it retails around the $70 range, so at least you know you are getting a pretty sizable puppet when you make that purchase. And then when it comes to other baby Velociraptor Blue or Beta type figures, we've got the Rowdy Roars Uncaged from Mattel Velociraptor Beta here next to the RealFX Velociraptor Blue. And you can definitely see that, yet again, Blue is massive compared to Beta. So obviously a lot closer to a more realistic and life-size appearance to the Velociraptor Blue from the RealFX version. And then for one more final comparison, we've got the Velociraptor Blue, the extreme damage version from Mattel, there right in front of, again, the RealFX Velociraptor Baby Blue, and it's much larger yet again. So at this point, you should definitely have a pretty good idea of the fact that you are getting a really, really nice, very sizable Velociraptor puppet if you go ahead and grab yourself one of these awesome RealFX Velociraptor Blue figures. So this is definitely a really cool release from WoW Stuff. I'm definitely impressed with this one. So far up until now, the only thing I've really reviewed from them were the WoW Pods, which I actually loved. I thought the WoW Pods were awesome, but it's so cool to now have something different from them that is not a WoW Pod and see what they are capable of, because obviously they are capable of some phenomenal releases, because this RealFX Baby Blue is definitely a great release and something I've never seen before when it comes to a dinosaur collectible that's actually sold in stores and stuff. I've never seen anybody selling one of these kind of dino puppets like this, like you see in those kind of traveling dinosaur shows. So that straight away was really exciting, really appealing to me, and when I had initially found out that this was going to be released, I immediately knew I wanted it, and now having it here, I am very happy with the purchase. Definitely happy to have something like this in my collection, because previously I certainly did not. And the overall Velociraptor Blue looks really good. Like, the detailing again is a little muted in the face and the hands and the feet and everything like that. The areas that are plastic, it's a little bit muted compared to what it probably should be, but at the same time, it looks really good. So it doesn't necessarily need to have that very nice, very vibrant detail to it, but it would have helped a little bit to make it just look a little bit cooler. But again, what we have been given here does look pretty good, and they've done a good job of painting it up to kind of give it like different variations of grays and even browns in certain spots to just kind of give you a bit more of a realistic looking paint job. As you lead back into the body though, the softer areas of the body have a really nice look and really nice appearance as far as the coloration goes, perfectly replicating a Velociraptor Blue baby version. The entire thing as a whole is fantastic and definitely something that will be fun to mess around with, and if you have kids, your kids are definitely going to love it, that's for sure. So if you are interested in picking this up, I'll include a link in the description to where I purchased mine on walmart.com, so make sure you check that link, go grab yourself this adorable Velociraptor Baby Blue, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.